Hey, so I weirdly, strangely like this journal thing where I talk about what's in my darkest things, and it's kind of one of those things that's kind of fun because lately I've noticed that I've kind of run out of ideas of stuff to talk directly about. So I'm like, why not go to the stuff I've already written about and talk about, and from a different perspective than just me. So yeah, we'll go through. Let's see. I don't know about y'all, but I have like things in here where it'll be like the title and then there's nothing else after it. Like it says no additional text, and I don't know what I said here. But let's see. Yeah, it's you know what? Let's see. Okay, this is kind of intense one, but why not? So we'll just throw it in there. It's funny how I keep talking about how I feel more and more like myself as life goes haywire, which means that my natural state is pretty effed up. And so what I kind of get at is that the more that my life has kind of deviated, it's the more I felt like I'm becoming myself, and like this is always what my life should have been. And like I don't know about any of you guys growing up, but like for me, I've always kind of felt like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like off center. Like I was like never quite where I like in tune with myself or like doing what was with me, or like I always kind of felt like I was doing something that wasn't natural to myself, or doing something because of the fact that I someone else was like whatever, whether a parent or like you're around like friend groups, you're like I'm not really like these people or like this or that, and that kind of stuff was very constant. So it's like as I've gone through this process and dead people and like whatever the hell depression, numbness, all this stuff is prompting me to do things that kind of course correct in a sense, and really got it, like just kind of trust it and just walking through it has felt like, oh wait, this is why have I not been doing this all along? That's a long explanation for one sentence, but yeah, I'll just keep going. If being normal felt so wrong, then why are my mom and dad so much less crazy than me? Where did that happen in the process of things? My dad's father died, and yet he still did a lot of normal stuff, and I'm always told that I'm super similar to him. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Something I'm sorry, I just keep ranting, whatever, but my dad, when he was like 25 ish, like mid 20s, he lost his dad. And for the next 30 years, like he died like when he was like about to turn 56. So for the next 30 years, he worked on like restaurants and stuff like that. Did since he was like 14, 15. He did practically the same thing. Like I can't, there's not a thought in my head of anything that he did in terms of like, okay, this happened and he started whatever. What I kind of realized is that almost in a sense, it caused him to kind of to shut down, and it made it tough for him to be vulnerable and tough for this, that, and third. So it almost kind of like inhibited him in a sense, like the loss or whatever. I don't know. But so I find it so strange that for me, it's almost felt like the complete opposite. Like it's like pushed me to like be more, do more, like in a sense, be open to failure. I feel like I was kind of almost avoiding failure, avoiding uncomfortable stuff. And so when the only thing you can feel is uncomfortable and you can only experience failure in a sense, like I've kind of failed repeatedly, you kind of see the beauty in it and you're like, why am I avoiding this all along? So yeah, it's weird. So like even like I think about like it's only until late that like my mom and me have had conversations where we have like similar beliefs and thought processes of like that. Like it's like it wasn't like a thing like that, oh, a big like a death happens and then suddenly all this stuff happen. Like it felt like these things that I like and that are natural to me are things that were like always kind of there. They just had to be unlocked. So I'm like, it's if I find it weird that that's kind of the stuff I like. I don't know. It's just there's like no history of the stuff that I want to do. Like it's just not present. So I find it interesting. My grandpa fought in World War II, then got sick, and my grandma worked at the church. Turns out 5, 6 days a week, so she was not really. That's the thing. Also, the too much water, but she was like really into it. So I don't know why I'm the way I am, but it definitely is me. All this makes my future such an enigma because who do I even begin to look to as an example when I feel the way I do in normal situations? That's the kind of thing I keep coming back to is like growing up, I always kind of felt like I was always kind of like looking at the stars, looking at things like why does it not feel right? Like why do I feel the way? And it's not like oh I'm so special thing or anything, but that I always like I just never felt right in the normal situation. Like it's like the things that you typically feel are like the I don't know, just the way normal stuff, normalcy. I always never could fit in or never could make it work. It never like, and it was a sense like if you think of like friends, like I struggled with friendships, but let's be honest here, like I didn't have a solid, there wasn't solid friends for the most part in a lot of my situations. There was a lot of people that were just me, just a lot of, so it's like it wasn't like there was opportunities and I was rejecting them. Like I think over time, and I've kind of seen this that I maybe have started turning off because of how much that was, and maybe there was genuine people that I I wasn't as like willing to go, and now I've kind of learned and grown in terms of like being more open and like trying stuff and doing stuff. But yeah, it's like I look back and I'm like, yeah, like there's a fitting and stuff. It's kind of been a constant recurring thing. Anything that I thought normal or whatever, stuff like that. And it's led me to have conversations like down the line with like family, like my mom, like, why aren't you just normal? Like, why aren't you whatever? And it's like that kind of stuff, like it hit, like like family saying that stuff. But it's like to my core, to who I am, to how I feel, to what it is. I just don't fit in naturally, and I've got it's. There's been areas where I fit in better, like I good friendships and all that stuff. But it also is one of those deals that has been constant, and without my dad being present, it is glaringly obvious. So yeah, whatever that things. Uh, yeah, I'm searching for things that I can't explain still, and even then, there's a constant redirection. Maybe that's why I'm so messed up naturally. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm saying, like I've probably said before, and I'm sure no one's even watching this, but I'm like, oh, shit. But like I've been trying. Like I feel like I've been taking leap of faith, and I think there's more, bigger leap of faith I could take, and there's things I could do that are more whatever. But I've been doing stuff. And what I've noticed is even after doing this stuff or doing a thing upon this stuff, I still am failing or being redirected or something doesn't work out or I'm like, oh, why am I like it's not even just the like oh crying stuff. It's like trying. It's like a cake or something or like onion. Like it's like there's like it's like not just a try and then it's a try upon it. Like there's a and that's what I'm kind of seeing and realizing. Like even with YouTube, like I tried like 4 or 5 different 6 different types of styles of content or like different like whether it was like football or like these kind of videos or vlogs or IRL or commentary or like the I do like a football channel and like trying stuff with that or like this it's like so much it's like it's like going into like a basket Robbins just trying all this that's what it kind of feels like and it's like as I go along this and fail and all that stuff, I'm like, why does this feel so natural? So like it doesn't feel like oh why the hell am I doing all this or oh this is great. Like it always it feels like I'm getting closer and closer to myself, and I don't know how long the process is going to be or like if it's just a lifetime thing, but I don't know it's interesting. I clocked that, so I don't know I whatever. Um yeah. Since the moment that I met the girl I fell in love with, I've had this redefined passion throughout what has been the toughest passion of my life, and it's likely going to make for some interesting family dinners because I'm only diverging more and more from normalcy. Pretty much has. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I've noticed ever since I kind of felt that spark and like love and all that stuff. It's only enticed me more to push because okay, just kind of like explain. So like picture like just imagine like okay, so you're trying your very best to make stuff work and trying to be normal, trying to do all this stuff, and it just doesn't. It's like a like magnets. It's like it's just not happening. So it's like when you like for me, I feel like I fell in love with someone that's like a little different naturally anyway. So it's like even that in a sense wasn't like someone normal, and that whole experience was definitely not normal. But it it just almost like to me it feels like any kind of thing that's giving me hope or any kind of thing that's prompt giving me like motivation or any of that kind of stuff has come from doing something that's not just like a bit but it's like what I'm saying like the layers like it's taking doing that kind of stuff and when you naturally do stuff and you're like taking risks and doing all that stuff you kind of diverge whatever because you're doing stuff that you don't know like it's unpredictable and it's not saying I'm anything crazy but just that it almost has enticed me more. And like when I felt like the love and passion, it just only made me want to charge more because I'm like, it's just I don't know. Since I was young, like it's just always been like, why? Like I don't know. Why do I feel the way I do? And it feels like I'm kind of getting validated or whatever for that feeling. Like there's a reason to it. That makes any sense. My dad's death was an excuse for the man above to throw my life off the rails. True, still going. And these days make that obvious and how constant this nagging desire to do big things is on my soul. Without a clear cut idea how I'm do it. Yeah, same deal. It's like the same from when I was a kid. Like I've always wanted to do big things and have aspirations, but I just never knew how to channel it. And I still am kind of very confused, but it feels like I don't know. I just have motivation, have like a thing. It's like one of those. It's like a gut feeling, like where you're like, okay, I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm at least trying towards that direction, and I'll keep trying and failing because I'm like, because it's like it's really the only thing my heart or whatever cares about. It's like whatever it is, it's like nothing else. Nothing else to take the attention. Living with these aspirations is what it's like to be wearing an extra large shirt if I was 5 feet tall. It's there, but I don't know how I'll make it fit. Yeah, it feels like literally that's a cliche ass thing and to say and whatever, but it feels like I'm growing into what it is, like who I like need to become or like whatever. That's what kind of feels like. It feels like sure I was living and growing, changes stuff like that growing up, but it really felt like once the deaths have happened and once losing this love thing and last few years feels like it's kind of like trying these risks, doing stuff that's allowed me to grow. And so I don't know if any of y'all have experience. You can let me know. No one's watching, but it's yeah, that kind of experience and continually having those kind of experiences, I think is super valuable. So yeah, there's not a soul in my life that seemingly has any connection to any of the stuff I want to do outside of the girl, whatever. She had similar stuff and strangely stuff. Like there was circumstances that made it feel like interesting, but yeah, I mean, recently I've had situations where like my mom has we've shared like a little bit in terms of aspirations stuff like that. But for the most part, like I look around my life, like doing this thing, like it's crazy. Like I think about it, like there's a world where it's, like I could have kids in the future and they could see this, and I did not even I hardly knew my grandpa's name, and so like me talking about my dad as if it's like a normal thing and like repeatedly do it, it's crazy. Like that this is even crazy, and it's like the whatever of the stuff that I want to do. Like it's I don't know, I find it crazy. That's just kind of what happens, I guess, when you take a leap of faith and do stuff because you're like, what the hell is going on? But you just keep going more and more, and you're like, and you look back, you're like, what the hell? Like it's strange. Life is very strange. So it's not like I can talk about this stuff without any of them sounding without it sounding crazy, which in turn has me writing, making videos about it. Set like that's the thing. Like, how do you like how do you have these conversations? 'Cause, like I just had like it's going nonstop. So how do you have these conversations and not drive someone insane? And how do you like do it in a way where there's like a thing? It's crazy. Like I even talk to a therapist, and when I do that, I feel like I'm talking nonstop and whatever, and I can't. And it's like whatever because I have so much I want to get out. It's it's like relentless. Um, I think I was insane if life hasn't been so effing insane since my dad got cancer. But with that in mind, this all kind of makes more sense, which is more surprising to how what's more surprising is how little has actually happened. Yeah, what I'm saying is like I kind of feel like what happened with my dad and all that kind of stuff and experiences makes sense to me. What kind of surprised me the most is the lack of stuff happening. Like it's like things like that happen, like the thing happened with my dad, or like the love thing, like where you kind of like get rejected, or whatever you have it. Like these kind of things happen, and obviously it's surprising and stuff like that, whatever. But it's this the in between stuff that surprised me because it's like there's like a vacuum of anything. Like it's a vacuum of things to cling to or latch to or anything that could like any escapism or anything is just not present. So it's like living, like really living in whatever that is. And like when I'm saying like escapism, like I like like I quote unquote failing. Obviously, I'm not really failing. It's whatever. But using it as an example is that like you could say for me, I could say I'm failing when it comes to like relationships, or love. I can say that with career. I can say it with when it comes to like my emotional state is really just non-existent. Say that you could say just circumstantially, I'm theoretically as big of a quote unquote failure in a lot of aspects as it could be. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm thankful for it, and there's a reason for it, and it's purpose. But it's so interesting how I don't know. I find it so much more interesting how there's the lack thereof other stuff like to counteract the stuff than the stuff that's happening anyways. Like it kind of surprised me because that's the stuff that makes it really tough. Because okay, like things happen wherever, but like okay, if I had a girlfriend or career was whatever, or like I was at my own place and I like the place or whatever, or like this that and third. At least there's some kind of thing. Like it's like that kind of stuff. I've always noticed that that kind of stuff has been like whenever I've had it, or like I say had it in quotes because you never really have it. Like I can't say I had anything with the love thing because it wasn't even reciprocated in the first place. But anytime I've had it or been close to having it, it's been taken away. So I've just kind of noticed that cycle, that perpetual cycle, and that's so interesting to me because it's like it almost like motivates me more and pushes me more than just if it was the case that I lost someone and this and that. Like it's like there's just so much building up. I don't know. It sounds crazy. This disconnect from everything around me makes for some unique circumstances, and it's why I have next to no filter most of the time. Yeah, like genuinely, like I'm kind of in this state and where I'm like, F it, like nothing to lose kind of thing. So I literally try things, do things or whatever, and it's like I just don't really care that much about like whatever. Like obviously, like you don't do crazy things, but like I like holding back on all that stuff. It's not a thing I do anywhere. I genuinely don't care about what people think that I don't love. Yeah, I say like if I'm really connected, to love like and stuff like that, it's tough for me to care. I will say it's tough for me to care for most things. So I struggle with that also, like patience and all that stuff. For me, when I'm not doing something or actively going towards something that gives me hope or motivation, patience is rock bottom because I'm like, there's nothing. There's no tangible things and there's nothing. So it's like, how do I even feel anything? So struggle with that one. these aspirations I keep talking about are so far away from my current circumstances. Yep. That the present feels like some kind of lucid dream and it feels like I'm not actually living. Yep, true that. But the numbness could really make that easy. But also, what I'm saying, like the vacuum of stuff happening, like it's not like I'm numb and oh, I have a girlfriend or numb and like got a career going or numb and I got this, that, third. It's numb and like quote unquote nothing going for me for the most part. So it's like even if I wasn't numb, this would still be a really tough part of my life. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like it feels like there's layers to the way I feel, and not just oh, I died or oh, just no love. Like it's kind of like there's a lot more to it. One of the main reasons I'm so detached is because the strong lack of feeling still very present, which is much more apparent after feeling the way I did around the girl I love. Like it was like roller coaster, like boom. It was like and that's kind of how it went. So yeah, this is a fancy way of saying that I'm in so much pain internally that I'm getting through this by ignoring the outside world and my own version of cruise control. Yeah, that's kind of thing. I feel like my emotions are kind of doing that naturally, unconsciously. Is that like they're kind of almost turned off because I literally cannot feel the emotions that I could be feeling, like the sadness and all that kind of stuff. It's literally just too much for me to feel. So I'm kind of just in this numbness state, and I have hopes and stuff like that. But I like it's tough, like 'cause there's nothing really present within, like good like feeling. Like there's just no like joy, excitement, and that stuff. It's just the hope. So and that's why like it's tough for me to care about stuff that doesn't have hope or motivation tied to it because I'm like if I like staying like this, there's there's nothing. It's literally just nothing. So it's like if I don't have any hope or motivation, then how do I care? Like how it's I don't know. It's like I genuinely like I don't even know how you do care. It's a weird thing, which is why I'm changing more than normal. Yeah, like constantly, and it feels necessary. Yeah, it's like it feels like what I'm doing and stuff, like making videos, writing all that stuff. Like it's not something I'm doing to try and rebel or try and be someone I'm not. Like it's all the stuff that feels the most authentic to me, and that's why a lot of the things why I'm so confused as to why I grew up and why like a lot of the stuff that motivates me and that I like and I feel the most natural to is stuff that is not really present within the lives of pretty much any people in my life. So I'm like, how is this even a possible thing? Like it kind of confuses me. And then and what's funny or what's interesting is that I feel like the motivation for these things is so strong that it makes me wonder if there was underlying desires or things that maybe my dad had or people in my like bloodline or that I'm related to had, and they just never followed it or chased it. Because I'm like, there's very strong, like very strong desires that I'm like, it's just kind of desires that like no matter what happens, no matter how much I feel, no matter whatever, it's ever present. Like it's like it doesn't stop. It's like a song stuck in your head. Like this kind of stuff, these motivations, I could be like homeless. I could be on top of the world making billions, and the motivation would still be present. So it's like I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, to anyone out there, yeah, I recommend journaling and writing, being open, trying stuff, and yeah, don't avoid your emotions and stuff. Let feel it, and yeah, do the tough stuff. Take those leap of faith, and yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know if you want more journals. I know no one's here. If someone's here, comment balloon. But yeah, see you guys soon. Love you.